Brasil e tava fazendo churrasco e me botaram no lado da caixinha, eu fui e virei em cima da churrasqueira esse Manaus.
The cage was loud, the lights blinding, and in the center stood a legend, silent, scarred, and still dangerous. On May 10th, 2025, at UFC 315 in Montreal, José Aldo stepped into the Octagon not just for a fight, but for a farewell, and the world watched, knowing this might be the final chapter in a story that redefined greatness. They called him the King of Rio, but his reign stretched far beyond the favelas of Brazil. José Aldo wasn't just a champion, he was a force, a WEC destroyer turned UFC inaugural featherweight king. He didn't talk trash, he didn't play games, he kicked harder than anyone. He silenced hype trains with shin bones and shattering combos. While others mastered sound bites, Aldo mastered violence. He went undefeated for nearly a decade. 10 years where he dismantled every name they threw at him. Uriah Faber, Frankie Edgar, Chad Mendes twice. His leg kicks weren't strikes, they were death sentences. Aldo didn't just win, he dominated. 7 title defenses in the UFC. A legacy built on pure skill, precision, and heart. But in the age of McGregors and microphones, José Aldo never learned to sell the sizzle. He never learned to shout over the noise. He didn't speak English. Didn't need to. His fists translated just fine. Yet, in the minds of casuals, the absence of sound meant absence of stardom. He was underestimated, not because he lacked greatness, but because he never cared to market it. And then came May 10th, 2025, UFC 315, Bell Center, Montreal. At 38 years old, after over 2 years away from the Octagon, Aldo returned to face Aiemann Zahabi, the hometown hero. The air was thick with nostalgia, tension, and something unspoken. What fans didn't know, what only Aldo's team would reveal later, was that he was fighting through a torn arm muscle, an abdominal injury, and even a viral infection leading into the fight. Doctors told him to pull out. He refused. He didn't come to back out of anything. He came to close the story. The fight was brutal, a 3-round war. Zahabi came forward like a man possessed. Aldo fought with flashes of his old brilliance, snapping jabs, surgical counters, thunderous body shots. But time is undefeated. And on this night, it edged him by decision. Unanimous. Zahabi's hand raised. Montreal erupted, but the moment wasn't Zahabi's. It belonged to Aldo, because then, quietly, he untaped his hands. He pulled off his gloves and laid them in the center of the Octagon. The crowd stood. Fighters backstage stopped warming up. Commentators fell silent. Everyone knew what that gesture meant. José Aldo was done. In his post-fight statement, he confirmed what we feared. "I can't do this anymore," he said, not out of defeat, but out of truth. After 32 wins, 10 losses, 3 title belts, and a Hall of Fame induction in 2023, Aldo had nothing left to prove. His body had given all it could, and the warrior knew when to stop fighting. But here's the thing, legacy isn't built on titles alone. It's built on the fire you bring into the cage, on the silence you command after a war, on the respect you earn from your rivals, your fans, your sport. Aldo didn't retire a fighter, he retired a myth. He reminded us that greatness doesn't always wear a crown. Sometimes it wears scars. Sometimes it speaks in silence, and sometimes it walks away before the cage takes too much. He never needed English, never needed a catchphrase, never needed a beef. José Aldo became a legend the old-fashioned way, by letting his fists write every chapter. And when the final page turned in Montreal, it ended exactly as it should have. Not with noise, not with chaos, but with a quiet salute, a glove in the cage, and the whole world standing still. Obrigado, José Aldo. Thank you for the wars. Thank you for the silence. Thank you for being everything a fighter should be. The King of Rio has finally gone home. So what do you think, fight fans? Did the UFC do enough to honor a legend like Aldo? Is he still your featherweight GOAT? Or has Volk or Max taken that crown? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's settle this debate once and for all. And hey, if you want the untold story of another unsung UFC icon, smash that like button and tell us who's next.